Here we are. The aftermath of Watford away. It won't be a massively long video because what can you do? What can you say that hasn't already been done and said? It's just going to be my points of view on what I took from the game, the outcome, the manner of it, and the general feeling around and outside the ground and whatever that you've seen on social media probably already. I mean, obviously, like I say, I like to leave it a couple of days before I post because I like to really let it sink in and come at it from a different, non-angry perspective. But, even still, I still am frustrated by it more than angry. So let's get into it. So, there's something about Arsenal-Watford recent results. There's a bit of beef there, a bit of needle. And I think it's sort of Watford looking at us and thinking, next door neighbours training pitch-wise and whatnot. And, I think they think we're the Billy Big Bollocks. We're the ones, we're the aristocrats, if you like. They want to take us down, show us a thing or two, take us down a peg or two. And we let them. We always underestimate Watford, and we shouldn't. They're always up for this fight. And we're not really. I think we just steamroll over them because we're Arsenal and they're Watford, but it doesn't work like that anymore. Especially where Arsenal are as a team at the moment, defensively, I should say. Before the game, I was not nervous, but I had a little. You get that little inkling. You had the it's the new manager bounce thing. I was thinking, stroke old manager bounce. I was thinking, maybe that might play some sort of part in it. But, we started well. The first goal from Mourinho was a brilliant take. And then the tap in for the second one. But, or was it the other way around now? I can't remember. But, 2-0, game's then buried. Watford's players' heads have gone because they're like, we're bottom of the league. This isn't happening for us. It's not going to be our season. This is just it. This is where we are, and this is Arsenal. We're not going to get in this now. They're going to take full advantage of it. The second half starts, and we do this weird goal kick thing. Now this is where the problem lies, right? You would have seen a lot of things on social media about David Luiz costing us a goal and another goal in the game. I was having a row with a Tottenham fan who obviously doesn't understand football. That's not because he's a Tottenham fan, but just he doesn't personally understand football. About David Luiz, you can get done by a tricky, skillful-footed forward, even as a multi-million-pound defender. It's going to happen every now and again. David Luiz is. I still think his best position is actually holding midfielder, but not. That's another thing. But he's susceptible to people running at him because he likes to make a little bit of a challenge. He's no Mustafi. Let's have it. If Mustafi had been there, he would have cleared him out. It would have been a proper full-on double-footed. He'd have lunged from the 6-yard box, smacked him on his legs away on the inside the 18-yard box, and still been sliding up to the halfway line if it had been Mustafi. I genuinely think that if you look at David Luiz, he tries to make the challenge, he realises he's not going to get there, tries to pull out of the challenge, there's a knock, the attack goes over because he's done him, because that's why he's tried to change his challenge, and it's a penalty. But I haven't got a problem with that. That's going to happen throughout the season. These things do happen. If it had been Harry Kane doing it, everyone would have said how it was how he drew the foul brilliantly and he played the defender. Because it's David Luiz and it's a Watford striker, they're going to say it's David Luiz's fault, right? It's just narrative. It's just the way it goes. It's not a problem as such, right? The main problem is this weird insistence on doing this goal kick thing. The law's changed, which means we can have two players inside the box when a goal kick is taken. It doesn't say you must have 2 players inside the box. It doesn't say you must knock it to that person for them to then launch it long or do whatever they're going to do with it. But for some reason, this is now Arsenal's staple. This is what we're going to do, right? And every team will have seen this and go, they're going to do that every goal kick. I've said to a couple of my Watford friends, and I've said it on social media, if I'd have been Watford in that second half, instead of going for the second goal or the third goal, after they'd scored the first one, I would have been running up to the byline. Instead of trying to get a cross in, just boot it out and get a goal kick. Because they had more chance of scoring from our goal kicks than from their own possession play, right? That's how ridiculous this rule is. 2-0 down. Honestly, Watford the crowd were dead. The players were, like I say, hangdog. The manager was like, oh, here we go again. What have I walked back into? They get that goal kick. Right? I was literally texting my brother-in-law, WhatsApping him. He's a Spurs fan, but I won't hold that against him, as he knows. I was texting him to say, Tom Cleverley will never score against us. I just finished putting the S in us when he'd had the shot that led to the goal kick, which then led to him scoring the goal. I didn't even see it because I was criminally taking my eyes off the game to text him that thing. I was going to have a bit of a laugh. And then he goes and does that. And then Socrates goes and does that. For me, he takes 95% of the blame for this, Socrates. I like him as a defender. I think he's done some good things. I think he was a good purchase, underrated. He was very good again. He was good for Rob Holding to come in and play alongside him. But that's just ridiculous. We've got to stop doing it. I was literally screaming at the screen at one point, just boot it. Just boot it. Just boot it. Just boot it. Just get rid of it. Because we're not doing it. And it's just, we were doing it against Spurs. We've been doing it all season long. Man City were doing it against Norwich and they got caught out and they lost their game. The goal, it doesn't work. And like I say, just because it says you can doesn't mean say you should do that in a new rule change. Alright? The other 5%, so if Socrates is taking 95% of the blame for this because of that ridiculous kick that he couldn't pass to his own teammate, the other 5%, I'm absolving everyone else of any blame, goes down to Xhaka. I try to be positive. That's why I try to do videos a couple of days afterwards so I can try and calm down and actually rationalise what happened. But these 3 words should not come out of any professional footballer's mouth, let alone the Arsenal captain. We were scared. Were you? What are you doing on pitch then? Now, I'm not having a pop up at Watford, right? You shouldn't be scared about playing anyone. You should look across the pitch and go, Ronaldo's playing today. That's going to be a tough game, but I'm up for it. Let's see what I can do against him. Not, I didn't like this. They're passing around me. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Could you imagine Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn, Steve Bold, Sol Campbell, Gilberto, Dave Seaman, Jens Lehmann. I don't think Jens Lehmann's been scared of anything in his life. These guys, if any one of those had come out with "we were scared," you'd be like, what? Xhaka comes out with it, you're like, really? I mean, the other people that I mentioned, they would never say it in the first place. And you shouldn't be playing professional football if you are scared. Worried? Okay, I'll give you. Scared? Nah, mate. Nah. And he must be doing something in training, Xhaka. Arsene Wenger played him for his entire last season. Emery paid him last season for the entire season. He must do something in training. It's amazing. Even though he's got photos of someone at the club, right? Because he's being picked every week. Now, like I say, I try to be positive. There are some things we've seen. Xhaka can play amazing passes, but he doesn't do it enough in the game. He must spray the ball around and be captain and all sorts on the 5-a-side pitch and training and whatnot. Brilliant. Can't do it in the Premier League. He just cannot do it. For some reason, when he crosses the white line in the Premier League or as a professional footballer in an actual match, Europa League, FA Cup, whatever, his head goes. It goes to pieces. He can't cope with it. And for that reason, I think I'm losing patience with him. I've lost patience with him. Like, not to the point like some idiotic fans that you've probably seen out on social media that have got going, oh, Emery should be out. I said that in the summer. He should be gone. He's not good enough. Blah 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 blah. Listen, we weren't going to get any other coach last year for last season. He did what was asked of him. If you remember in the I've said this before in all my other videos. Remember in the transfer window of 2018, in 2018/19, in the winter transfer window, he said we didn't have any money for any signings, so he did the best he could. He got us to Europa Cup final. Yes, we got turned over. They've spent the money wisely this year, and I bet at 2-0, that person that was saying that Emery should have been out at Christmas, I bet he was sitting there as well going, 2-0, mate, he's got to go. He's got to go. He weren't cheering, this fella that you've seen, the bald fella. No. He weren't cheering that. He was thinking, oh, man, only 2-0 up at half-time. I ain't having this. He's got to go, son. He's got to go. I'm sick and tired of it. He's got to go. Of course he was. Of course, because he's such a fan that he can see beyond that. He can see. He knew we were going to draw 2-2 or worse at half time, because he's so good at his game, better than Emery. Right, listen. Emery shouldn't have made the substitutions he made, in my opinion. Ozil came in. He helped set up one of the goals. Probably should have taken him off at half time then and said, like, you've done your bit now. You've got to ease you back in. You haven't had the full. You haven't played. This is the first game in 5 you've played. Well done. We're going to gradually bring you back in if that's what I'm doing. Right, then bring Joe Willock on for him. Taking Danny Ceballos off. Ceballos wasn't a great move in my opinion, but that's because I think he's a good footballer. I think at 2-1 he might have been able to help us calm down a bit more. Might have helped Granit Xhaka not be scared. Maybe put an arm around him. Took loose balls, did whatever it is to make him feel better and not scared on the football pitch. Right, so there were probably a couple of tactical mistakes there, right? But Unai Emery, yes, he's coaching the players, and yes, he's the one that's saying we need to have the 2 people in the box, but he's not the one kicking the ball to Tom Cleverley from a goal kick. He's probably sitting there going, that's not what I asked him to do. And it doesn't matter what I ask him to do. It doesn't matter who you are. If he's making that decision on his own on the pitch, it's got nothing to do with a coach, And that's what I say. The second goal was the one that brings it on and gets their tails lifted. The Watford fans start singing. All of a sudden, they think we've got Arsenal on the run here, and they had us on the run. And we were lucky to get away from Vicarage Road with a point. Make no bones about it. They battered us, and they should have had more. And maybe if Troy Deeney had been there and stayed on the pitch, he probably would have. He probably would have had a hat-trick on Sunday. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about the match. The other thing I will say is, all you lot out there that are slaughtering Pepe, stop it. It's not his fault he's coming for the money he's coming at, but he is a good player. You watch him, he has got good skill. He needs to pick the right ball. A couple of times the ball's just behind him. The player, I thought, actually, not making any excuses, but that you could see that the pitch was holding the ball up in the final third on both ends against Watford, so that was not helping our passing play, but it wasn't helping them either. We were helping them, so it didn't matter. Cancel that out. But Pepe, honestly, I think a part of the problem is he's trying too hard. When he gets his first goal, when he relaxes, you're going to see a different player. But I think he's trying too hard, especially now that Lacazette's out. You realise just how much we miss him. So overall, we were lucky to get away with a point. I'll take the point because we didn't lose it, which we probably, should have done. I mean, if we'd have won, on Sunday, we'd have been level on points with Man City after 5 games. You've got to be happy with that. Because you're not expecting Man City to be dropping points. Liverpool now streaking ahead. But my positive outlook is there are green shoots there. The front line is scoring goals from very few chances created. I think getting Mesut Ozil back in the side alongside Ceballos with Pepe and Aubameyang up front, and when Lacazette comes back, once we get our first choice defence back, you've got to remember we're playing with a team that with the sort of cobbling together. I think Rob Holding comes back in for Socrates. I think obviously Tierney and Bellerin come in. That changes that. We've got pace and ability down the wings. Ainsley Maitland-Niles come inside there because he's not actually a wing back or a full back. He's actually an attacking midfielder, a decent midfielder. So we've got there. Honestly, we're doing okay considering we're playing with a makeshift back four, and our front three are probably getting used to each other. Look, Aubameyang and Lacazette didn't really click straight away like they are now. And so you're adding Pepe to that. And he's trying too hard. Once he realises what goes how the Premier League works, he'll be all right. We'll be all right. We've just got to improve on last season. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I was looking for under Arsene Wenger. It never came. The improvement. If we can, even if we finish 1 or 2 places higher this season than we did last season, that is the improvement. If we don't go very far in the cups, as long as we get back into that top 4, I think the Champions League will destroy us next year if we got into it. But let's get back into it at least, yeah. That's what we're looking at. It's 5 games in. Man City have just lost to Norwich. We drew with Watford. It's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad. I mean, that's where we've fallen to this season already. It's not that bad after 5 games. Keep the faith. We'll be okay. We'll we'll play worse than that this season and win, right? And then your man with the bald head can say about how he still wants Emery out then, once those sort of games happen. We'll see that happen then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you after the next game.